Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim, and welcome to Tim Talks, the show that's only partially a show, but really is just an excuse for me to talk to some of my very talented friends. And I have another one here with me today. He's the newest intern over at Rooster Teeth. Newest? Is that right?
Yes.
Newest intern over at Rooster Teeth, Blaine Gibson. Say hello, everyone.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
It's going. Just got back from Potbellies. It was delicious. So.
Nice. I've heard you've had a rather busy week.
Yes. This week's episode brought to you by Potbellies. Yeah, I was crazy busy. It was fun. Just another day, another week at the office. So. Gotta
love that. So, yeah, as I said, Blaine is the current Rooster Teeth intern over there, and he and I actually met a while ago at RTX 2013, where we were both being PAs for certain people, and I will not take this thunder away from you. Who were you PAing for?
I was Barbara's PA, which was a lot of fun because I got to be around like all of the action of RTX because she was one of the people along with Gus who like organized it, so it was cool.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I got to hang back with Jack and Jeff and Ray and everybody over in the Achievement Hunter booth, but you were actually in the thick of it.
Yeah, and she was constantly getting like crowds around her and have to fight them
all. Of course.
I didn't. I was really nice to everybody. Oh, I'm going to take this opportunity. I was going to tweet this, but during RTX, people would ask me to take photos with Barbara, and I would do it. And there was a couple times where I would flip the camera and take a selfie and then flip it back and then continue taking pictures. So if anybody watches the show that has those pictures of me and they haven't deleted them, I'd like to see those.
That's fantastic.
Nobody
I wish I had thought to do that. That's genius.
Yeah. And this is all before the FartHoofer incident, so.
Oh, we will get to that FartHoofer incident. Trust me. So, you are in school right now, as it turns out. We can see that you're in a dorm room currently. You're over at UT.
Yes, I am a RTF student, radio, television, film student at the University of Texas in Austin. So.
Yeah. And what does that involve?
Well, you can kind of rule out the radio and television part for me. I'm not really interested in that. But that's a path you can take if you do this course of studies. Mostly into the film part. Really enjoy that. It ranges from anywhere from film studies to like actual production, stuff like that. So it's a really great program. It's one of the best in the nation for sure.
So what drove you into taking that sort of course? Because, I mean, let's face it, stuff like liberal arts degrees and theater degrees, which I have, are kind of useless right now.
I felt pretty confident in it starting back in high school. I was really involved with our high school news program back then. And I had been making films, on the side since I was a little kid with my parents' VHS camcorder and stuff like that. So I really had an interest in film. And yeah, I thought I'd take a shot with it. And I was actually, I can recall coming into Austin, driving in to visit a friend who urged me to come in. I was originally going to go to Texas A&M. So I'm glad I didn't because there's nothing out there for me. It's a great school, just not for me.
Yeah, it's a lot of engineers and scientists.
Yeah, no, like real, it doesn't have film at all. So, but anyways, I was on my way here and I remember I've been a big Rooster Teeth fan for about 7-8 years. Mm-hmm. And I remember listening to the podcast on the way into Austin. And I actually think that Rooster Teeth was one of the reasons I came to Austin because they spoke so highly of the city and stuff. So.
It usually is. I mean, you follow the people that you love. And I came here twice for RTX and decided that was it. I love this freaking town. It's everywhere I've ever wanted to live. It's a liberal island in the middle of a Republican ocean.
It's a great place, especially to just start your roots and stuff like that.
I had my first real Austin problem not too long ago.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
Where do we eat? There are too many places.
Yeah, that is a serious problem. So, a lot of good eats around here, but it is a great place. So I really hope that I get to stick around.
Yeah. And so I'd imagine that Rooster Teeth keeps you pretty busy. How then do you balance schoolwork with Rooster Teeth work?
It's not actually that hard. You just have to be really disciplined. I've been like, I don't want to sound like a jerk and stuff like that, but like lifting weights, keeping on like a really strict workout routine and dieting and stuff like that. Those are like something that I already have like ingrained in my mind. So like scheduling everything and just making everything work together, it's really not that difficult. And Rooster Teeth is very like Brandon in specific is really good about making sure that I'm keeping my grades up and stuff like that. That was one of his biggest concerns is he said we want to make sure that you're still getting good grades, but we want to give you this experience as well.
So. Of course. Well, I mean, it seems like you already got the discipline part bred into you just based on the physique itself. I mean, it helps to be able to carry those aspects onto other things. I mean, if military school for a number of years did that to me, where my room has to be a certain way or else I don't feel right inside.
Yeah.
I just don't. I can't take the short way around stuff. I have to do it the right way, that sort of thing. And so when you see those kind of traits in somebody, it's very easy to just be able to guess that they're going to be able to adapt very easily to those new situations.
And definitely in a place like Rooster Teeth, if anybody's interested in like trying to get a gig there and stuff like that, you have to be really disciplined. You have to be able to like balance multiple things at once because you have like multiple projects coming in and stuff like that. So,
oh Lord, especially in a place like that.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if that's something, a skill or a talent that you don't have right now, like definitely work on trying to get more organized. And it's good. I'm not talking to you, Tim. I know you're organized. And
stuff, yeah, I do my best.
Yeah.
So then, what are some of the productions you've gotten to work on over at Rooster Teeth?
I do a lot of the editing for Arty Life. Pretty much all of the past Arty Life, starting since summer, were ones that I edited.
Oh, that's wonderful.
What's that?
That's awesome, man. We've had some good ones since then.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, those are just really fun little segments that they like to put out every week. I worked on the Harry Potter Burnie quiz video.
Lucky dog, you.
Yeah, we're working on another video kind of related to that. I'm not going to give any details out, but it's going to be out probably soon. I'm doing.
we love all the details we can get. So I'm not going to stop you.
But yeah, so I don't know. I do a lot of their editing, but I also do a lot of like on-set help. Like production assistants and things like that. And
right.
I work primarily with podcasts. I think is the big thing that I really work on.
Yeah, speaking of, when we went to the live podcast that they did 2 weeks ago, which, by the way, was one of the most awesome things I've been to in quite a while.
Thanks, man.
You were working the camera over there, the big red.
Yeah, I was working the red. I think we had the one going. We were having some issues with the Epic and the one.
Right.
I was running one of those guys on the wide shot up in the stands with the fans.
Then, as it turns out, there was an Arty Life being shot during the podcast.
Yeah. I cut some old footage. I did two Arty Lives from that. The
really?
FartHoofer one and then the Gus.
Oh yeah, the FartHoofer one.
Yeah. So
that we could tell in the audience that Gus did not know why people were shooting stuff at him. B, did not like it at all.
Yeah, that's for sure. He had a pretty legitimate concern about that, though. He was thinking like one person shooting a Nerf gun dart, turns into like a crowd thinking that they can throw stuff, and then it just gets out of hand because it's just a crowd of people. But,
even Michael Jordan can't stop that much chaos.
Yeah. But I don't know. Gus is an incredibly nice person. I think people got the wrong idea of him when he was like getting mad about that, because he's actually really nice in person.
Well, here's the thing, though. He does have a legitimate point to be angry about, because if you don't stop that right then, that starts to become a precedent, and you can't have that during a live show.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if that had been a pre-rehearsed bit, if Gus had been let in that they're going to be firing at some point for the purposes of a life, it might not have been that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But during a live show where nobody knew...
Yeah.
And I can understand why he was pissed.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It wasn't that big of a deal. He just wanted to make sure that it was safe. But if you ever go to a Rooster Teeth panel or anything like that, don't bring Nerf guns. Don't think it's acceptable to, like, throw shit.
Do it. Don't you
Rooster
do
Teeth fans
it.
are all smart, so they know that. So.
Yeah, it's true. The Rooster Teeth community in general is a unique animal that most people have... either a hard time breaking into, or B, a hard time quite wrapping their mind around and then getting into, because it's a community of such like-minded people that you're probably going to find a friend.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week. You were saying something along the lines of, like, you meet a Rooster Teeth fan, you're almost, like, instantly friends. Because, you share a common... sense of humor, and
exactly.
you almost share a common set of experiences, because watching their videos and following them for so long, it's like we're on it together and stuff like that. So Rooster Teeth is awesome, and our fans are the best.
Yeah, And it becomes a fun community to break into once you finally do, because you're right, you have so many shared experiences. You remember how you felt the first time you heard Gavin say headlight fluid.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everyone has those stories of their first times, and they're always fun to hear someone else's for the first time. You know,
Yeah.
It is a very, very supporting community.
If anybody's a fan who's watching this and they're on the fence about coming to RTX, you absolutely should come to it, because it's the best convention experience you'll ever have.
Not only should you come, but try and be a guardian. I mean, we're going to be hiring more anyway, but that's really the best way to experience it when you want to give back.
Yeah.
You know, because they've given me so much. That was my driving motivation to be a guardian, was so that I could give back to these people that have done nothing but entertain for
That was the exact same thought process I went through. You know, I was like, hell, I'm going to be in town. These guys, I know that they're going to need help because they keep expanding larger and larger every year and stuff like that.
How many is it supposed to be this year?
What's that?
How many is supposed to be this year?
They haven't released an official number yet, but I know Barbara, and they talked about this publicly, so this isn't private, but they've said 10,000 is like what they're going to try to set it up to.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't freaking wait. And that's 10,000 of the best, most patient, most awesome. I mean, there were some people who sat in that line for 9 hours.
Yeah.
And still...
That would have been like a riot in any other kind of convention, but our fans are just the best.
And just floored to get to have that experience and to get to share it with everybody who was there. And that made me feel better and less tired on you know, hour 12 of day 3.
Yeah.
And then seeing the Achievement Hunter guys take that energy and just reflect it back, you know, it's nothing but inspiration.
I just remember waking up every morning. I was like, I was always energized, even though I was like tired as hell. And then there was like one day where, even after the convention, I decided to go to the gym. It's a stupid idea because I was so fucking tired. But yeah, man, like you just get this huge wave of energy just being around that community, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun. And that's I still feel that same way, that just like excitement when I go to my internship, when I go to the office and stuff like that, because it's just like they're a fun group to be around, and you know, you're doing something that you love, and it's just exciting.
And so another thing that you got the chance to work on was the Barenaked Ladies video that just came out.
Yeah, so that was something that we've been doing for a while. The lead singer, he was Captain Butch Flowers, and he was also Captain Dynamic.
Captain Dynamic.
Yeah, and he's a really cool guy.
It's weird the way relationships develop, you know? Because,
Yeah,
I mean, whoever would have put that together in their minds?
Yeah. So, a lot of people in the office were in on it. They shot a lot of it in RTX, and I know that Matt went up to Canada with Megan Castro, our, I don't know what you want to call her, secretary?
Office manager?
Yeah, Megan is a really cool chick, and I noticed the other day she doesn't have that many Twitter followers, which is total crap, because she's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
So
but I want to say her name is something weird. It's not really like just her name.
Her handle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something Castro. But yeah, Megan's a really cool chick. You should follow her.
Absolutely. I'll have a link to her Twitter down there.
Yeah. Matt went up there, filmed a bit, and then we did a lot around the office and stuff like that. I remember one day I was just coming in, and me and JJ just shot the RT recap, and I just hit Alan in the face with an egg. I think that was the same day. But I don't know. I can't remember. And they dressed me up as a zombie, and I got to be a zombie. So that was really, really cool.
Daggum right. And so did you get to work any on the editing or anything like that, or was it just
Didn't
being
touch the editing. I think that was mostly a lot of Matt, and I think a little Chris and Brandon. Those are the main editor guys.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you got to be in on the amazing Alan Arty Life, where he just takes it all on the chin and face and
he's Alan's really cool. God, everybody at the office is so cool. I really can't complain about anybody. But Alan took it like a champ.
How did that idea come about?
That was all JJ. JJ's like really creative when it comes to this kind of stuff. So he's just thinking of funny ideas. We just decided to just nail Alan. He also wanted to like make it call attention to the fact that some people don't like that we have advertisements and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's kind of a necessary evil. I don't think that they're that bad personally. And
they're really not
good offers with our ads.
Exactly.
Yeah. So JJ wanted to do that, and Alan's all for it. and he took it, man.
He sure enough did. Did you actually, cut him or anything?
Yeah, so I told you that. I remember hitting him with a water balloon. And I remember the water balloon was so big that it enveloped his face and then didn't pop and then just like went off. So this is somebody like slapped him probably. I'd already felt bad about that, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit him like really hard in the chest. That'll be funny. That'll be a good shot. Threw it as hard as I could, and it just like popped him right here on the cheek, and he was bleeding. God. And I felt so bad that night. I went to CVS and bought him a card and a Starbucks gift card because I felt really terrible because Alan's like the sweetest guy around.
And of course, JJ edits it in at the end of the video.
I mean, that was the money shot.
Yeah,
for sure, the money shot. Alan was actually thanking me, and he was like, "It was a good hit. We can definitely use that. Good job."
Yeah, we'll use you on the Rooster Teeth baseball team.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, that's freaking fit. So then, how long are you going to be at Rooster Teeth?
As of now, it's looking like I'm just the fall intern. I don't know what it's going to turn into. If I have the opportunity, I would definitely try to stick around and maybe intern for another semester or whatever.
I don't think anyone would blame you.
Whatever happens. I'm not gonna.
But then you're doing things to kind of establish yourself over there as a big help and a big hand. And it seems as though through the course of people like Ray and Michael and Brandon and Chris, they really reward people who willingly help with no offer of reward in the first place.
Yeah, and
so,
I mean, again, it just goes back to it's like something that I really love to do. I'm going to work my butt off. I'm really not doing it to like impress anybody. I'm really just doing it just because it's something that I thoroughly enjoy, and I love Rooster Teeth so much. So, if they take notice of that, then that's great. But
I really hope they do, because especially with stuff like FartHoofer, man, you can't. That's creating a personality you can't replace, and that's the key thing. Creating someone who belongs there, who doesn't stand out, but at the same time, it absolutely stands out.
Whatever happens.
Yeah.
I'm excited no matter what. In the event that it doesn't work out with him, I'm getting really great experience, and I'm going to be able to take this on to another place. And, Rooster Teeth working with him is just, like, awesome. So.
And so then if, say, nothing else ever happens, do you want to do movies, or do you want to do internet stuff? Or
See, the reason that I was so drawn to Rooster Teeth and just like online media is the quick turnaround. If you work on a feature film, that's something that you're committing to for like 2 years, 3 years. It's like a long process.
You are not kidding.
2 hours, But with Rooster Teeth, hell, I've popped out a few videos in a week. You're constantly working on new stuff. New clients, and
well, I mean, look at the Rooster Teeth stuff on Vine. That has to be done in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, no, that actually Burnie, Gavin, and Barbara actually take like certain Fridays where they'll just devote like X amount of hours to just making these vines, and they have a Vine budget, I think, and it's crazy.
That's freaking fantastic. I was actually talking to JJ about those the other night. I was saying the one thing I don't really care for about those is they're so hard to then track. If you want to watch them again, you have to filter through so many different tweets and stuff. I wish that someone would do like somebody did for Will Sasso's, except just under the Rooster Teeth logo.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure.
And put them all into a video.
Or something like that, though.
Yeah, but you guys should do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's always better if it's official, because if nobody wants to step on any toes. Hell, I would do it.
Yeah,
but nobody wants to step on any toes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's if you guys really want to see them and stuff like that, it's just a matter of subscribing to their Vine account and stuff like that, making a Vine account of your own and stuff like that.
And maybe they're looking for someone with the wherewithal and the forethought to just go ahead and do it. I mean, it can't hurt.
They totally leave stuff to the community's hands. They like, I think Achievement Hunter. I'm not much of an Achievement Hunter follower. I feel bad for saying that. I used to watch them all the time, but I've just kind of run out of time. And they have so much content all the time. It's great.
Really just whistling, especially ever since they put out the Let's Play channel. It's just so hard to consume everything.
It's a lot. But they still do community contributions, right? Like people, they let people submit videos and stuff like that. So yeah, Rooster Teeth's totally down. If a fan wants to go ahead and do something like that, take the initiative. That's a big part of getting noticed by them is just, making yourself stand out by contributing something and taking the initiative and showing that you're, really invested in them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes it fun too, because then you have a little bit more of a driving purpose in you instead of just doing things like I do, largely for a rhetorical purpose, largely for the fun of it. You kind of have both impetuses driving you, and it can make a huge difference.
Recently, a fan edited this video, and it was just like, it was almost like a sizzle reel of just Rooster Teeth people just having fun. I wasn't in it because this is like, all the footage was from long before I started there.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
It's like a music video, basically.
Yes.
Dude, everybody at the office watched that and loved that. I remember catching like JJ and Brandon just like rewatching that over and over. And yeah, they totally were like really like motivated after that. Like they were just like, you know, we have a community to show for, you know, like
it's like wasn't it, I think it was at the end of the 10-year anniversary video where they did the little thing to music, where JJ put together a little montage to some very sweet music. And it was really cool and very tear-jerking, and it was like someone had just taken that idea and expounded on it the way it should have been.
Yeah, it was a really cool video. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff, and I remember mentioning this to you the other week, that and like fan art, just like anything that comes from the community, you know, that shows that people care. Man, the company just eats that up. They love that stuff. Like I remember going to Aaron and Miles' house, and they have like people who've done art for them. They hang that stuff up on their walls. Like they'll have their fan art, like, you know, posted on their coffee table and stuff like that.
Right.
So I can't tell you enough how much we love receiving that stuff. All right.
Well, I'll go ahead and ask a polarizing question.
What's up?
Who's your favorite person over there?
Over there? Oh, that's really difficult to say. I think
I know.
I think the biggest underdog and the most underappreciated guy is Patrick, the guy that runs the podcast. I guess
really
Podtrick. Super sweet guy, super nice guy. But I really
I think you've been hanging around Barbara too long.
Well, what's that?
Podtrick,
yeah. Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that's the moniker he goes by.
Of course.
He's a really cool guy. And he was actually one of the guys that helped me with the FartHoofer thing. He was totally in on it. So, but really, I can't say who's the best because they're all really, really incredible people.
Of course they are. I was making you take a stance just for the fun of it.
Gotcha. Just
so that way when you go back to the office, you got like 15 people standing there like this waiting on you.
What's going on, Blaine?
Yeah. What's up, Captain America? How come we can't all be part of the Avengers, huh? So is that something that's kind of kept on? I know that Burnie said it kind of as a joke when you were first introduced on there.
Yeah, a lot of people in the community refer to me as that, and then, you know, every now and then somebody at the office will call me that, or like Thor or something like that. It's fun, and it makes me
something equally heroic and masculine and awesome.
Hey, I'm not complaining. I like Ashley actually like calls me that pretty regularly. I remember one time it was after the FartHoofer incident. I was walking down the hall, and she was with Gus walking the other way, and she was like, "Well, I think Captain America's FartHoofer," and I was just like, "No."
Could be.
No, not me.
So did you buy, let's go ahead and talk about that elephant in the room a little bit more thoroughly. Did you buy the 3DS specifically to do FartHoofer?
I didn't. I bought it. Pokemon X and Y, that's coming out. That's out.
Yeah, it came out
That's
today.
The main purpose I got it for. I'm not going to be able to play it until Christmas because I am pretty strict. This goes back to like my, you know, plans and all this stuff and like how strict I am on myself. But
right.
I don't play video games during the semester when I have school and stuff like that. But I bought it because I wanted to play like Mario Kart and Zelda. And
that is a very commendable thing to do, sir.
Yeah, and you know, and like I also thought of the idea, and that also pushed me towards the purchase. But there's other stuff too. I was really interested in the 3D technology and stuff. So there's a lot of things, but it was a good investment. I definitely think it was a great investment. That was the best prank I think I'm ever gonna pull off.
You know, it was a really damn good one, and obviously it should have been inspired by, you know, Burnie's doing his torture to Gus.
Yeah, I remember watching that, just like hearing about his plans and watching that and stuff like that, and I was like, man, Burnie's a genius, but like, oh, he could have done this on such a larger scale. He could have like gotten the whole office, and he could have like made somebody that nobody knows, you know, like an anonymous me or something like that. And I was like, I should do that. Like that should be my claim to fame. I should make a name through.
Yeah.
And then I remember bringing home my DS, whipping it out, trying to make my first me, just went through a bunch of different ideas and iterations, and then I settled on FartHoofer. I was like, that is sinister as hell. And then I made the character just really scary. I spent
the umlauts are what makes it. The umlauts are what makes it.
Yeah, well, Nintendo wouldn't allow FartHoofer, so it had to be Fjart. So.
Oh my god! And then you see in the RT video, RT Life video, that everybody, it came to a point, it came to such a head that you had to call a company-wide meeting.
Yeah, well, I mean, we weren't just like everybody's working, and then Burnie's like everybody in the office. So like, that was the wrap party for Gauntlet season 2 filming.
Right.
Pretty much everybody that was involved was there, the cast and the crew. So Freddie Wong, Justine, Adam Kovic, and Greg Miller were all there too. And yeah, we were all just like eating lunch, and then I remember secretly revealing it to Barbara and then Burnie. And then I was wondering how I could best reveal this, and he said, "Well, we'll call like all the office." So he called everybody together, and then I came up.
Yeah, played the straight face the entire time.
Yeah. I got really fucking good at doing that too. Like,
yeah. I'll bet at a company like that, where you have to be able to let someone ramble on with something incredibly funny and stupid.
Yeah.
You probably get very good at being straight-faced.
I got straight face as hell. Yeah. I mean, I remember just like overhearing them talking about FartHoofer, and nobody suspected me, so it was just a brilliantly planned. I could be a criminal.
Yeah. Captain America suddenly takes on an entirely new life.
Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but it was a lot of fun. And,
I'll toot your horn for you. It was pretty freaking awesome. Not gonna lie. So then you mentioned Gauntlet season 2. Cannot fucking wait for episode 3. That's gonna be so good.
Yeah, first 2 episodes blew it out of the park.
They really did, especially by comparison to season 1, where it kind of felt like they were leaving out Rooster Teeth a little bit.
Yeah, this is definitely adapted to more like Rooster Teeth personality and stuff like that. I think that they had a little more creative freedom. Not that they didn't with Gauntlet season 1, but I think they were trying to play that more like straight faced and like an actual reality show or something like that. But this time around, they were just like, we're gonna do it our way. And from what I've seen that we haven't shown yet, it's awesome. Like I'm laughing out loud every time I walk by and listen.
Freaking good.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. So, you're completely wrapped on that? It's done. You just got to edit it together and put it out.
Yeah, and I'm not a part of the editing team. Those are we actually have a few new staff members that are working on that, and along with like Chris and Brandon. Yeah, man, they're working away on that.
That's fantastic. And then Ruby just finished up. So, no, I mean, when you mentioned earlier about just the wide variety of stuff that's there's a niche for every single kind of fan. You don't have to be a fan of everything to be able to appreciate everything that Rooster Teeth does.
Absolutely not. And like, I remember just like as a fan myself, before I was involved with the company, even before RTX and stuff like that, I was mostly, first and foremost, just like a podcast fan. That's like all I really tuned into.
Right.
I watched Red vs. Blue passively, but like there's some super fans that just love Red vs. Blue. And I loved their RT shorts, like the live action shorts. And
the button's one of my favorites.
What's that?
The button is probably my favorite.
That is,
awesome. Where Joel's jamming that fucking button. He's like, "Oh, Griffin, come here, you're so pretty, Griffin."
Yeah, that is a good one. I think the point in time where I realized like I want to work with these people was the pass video, where it's just Matt, Nathan, and catch, throwing the ball. Oh my god, I freaking died during that video. And then
oh my god, there have been so many fucking great ones. There really have.
The best. And then the puppet one. Yeah.
With Pongo.
I remember I saw Pongo out at the annex. I was like looking for a prop, and Pongo was on a shelf, and I was like, oh. Oh god.
I got to place him lovingly on his pedestal where he sat during RTX during the setup. It was kind of wonderful.
Yeah, he's still out there. I'll push for a Pongo too. That would be great.
Right, it really would. He should have been somewhere in the Gauntlet. I mean, just even if it's in the background, kind of like leering behind a corner or something.
I'm gonna cut you.
So I think I won't hold you too much longer. We're coming to the end-ish of our show-ish.
How long have we been going for? 30
about
minutes? I got some time. We can, it's cool.
Okay. In that case, what have you been doing personally outside of Rooster Teeth? Outside of you, you said you don't play a lot of video games.
I actually do play a lot of video games, especially when I have breaks. Christmas break, summer break, and then if I have a really freed up weekend, I'll play video games. I love video games. It's just something that I can't support that with my current lifestyle. Just school, exercise, Rooster Teeth, all that. So
something's got to give, and unfortunately, video games are on that lowest.
Unfortunately, but that's something that they still hold up after all these years, and it's something I can just return to. So I'm not really worried about missing out on anything.
Right.
I'm bummed that I'm missing out on the hype of Grand Theft Auto 5, but it's going to be ready and waiting for me, and I'll be able to.
And probably fixed a little bit better too.
Yeah, because apparently
quite frankly
some difficulties. But what I do outside of Rooster Teeth, I'm a student first and foremost. It's one of my top priorities. I work with TSTV, which is a program that a lot of the staff members at Rooster Teeth have also been involved with. It's UT's it's nation's I think only student-run SEC licensed television station.
Really,
and it's an incredible opportunity. So if you ever have the opportunity to come to UT, definitely get involved with that.
And that's TSTV.
TSTV.
Is there a website for that?
Television. What's that?
Is there a website for that people can go to?
Yeah, it's not very good, but it's still a fun opportunity. Let me see. I live in a co-op, which is it's like a living community with a bunch of hippies. It's fun. Yeah,
gotta love it.
That's pretty much all I'm involved with, I guess.
Fair enough. And then there's a lot to do here in town. Do you get out to see any? Are you able to see any shows? There's ACL going, or Austin City Limits going on right now.
Yeah, I'm not really doing ACL. I'll probably do South by. I always do a couple of films during South by. I'm still with Rooster Teeth, I'm sure they'll have something going on then. Even if I'm not interning, I'll probably try to guardian for them. Because they'll always have fun events going on. Yeah. I like going to movies, especially alone, because that's when I can focus in the most. And 6th Street's a blast. I'll go down there every now and then.
Shoot, speaking of movies, I went and saw Gravity the other day. Have you seen that thing?
Yeah, I actually went and saw that with Ashley, Burnie, Gavin, and Barbara the other day.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Incredible.
Right? Absolutely fantastic. I was blown away.
3D?
It's one of those things. Huh?
Did you watch it in 3D?
No, unfortunately. I didn't even know there was a 3D version until 2 days later. I
think that's one of the movies that the majority of the ticket sales have been in 3D. Right. And that's something I'm working on at University of Texas. We just got a UT 3D program where it's the first curriculum for 3D filmmaking. So 3D is something that interests me a lot, which goes back to why I bought my Nintendo DS 3D.
Yeah, and so expound on that a little bit more. What are you able to do at UT with a ready 3D camera? That seems like
currently we're doing 3D film studies and the history of 3D. We're not going to be getting our hands on the actual camera rigs until I think a couple of weeks from now we'll be able to start doing work with those. But radio, television, film department's awesome. It's a great opportunity for you to get your hands on really good equipment and just make stupid stuff. So
yeah, I've been lucky enough to work on a couple of actual legitimate movies myself, and one of them, Shark Night 3D, was shot natively in 3D.
Yeah.
So it was so freaking cool getting to see these two giant red cameras stacked at 45-degree angles to each other like that. And then it has a mirror box inside of it that reflects one of the images just slightly off-center.
Yeah, that's called oh my gosh, what is it called? The beam splitter rig.
Yeah.
The reason they do that is because the lenses are so large, and to mess with the interaxial distance, the distance between the two camera lenses, to give that depth perception kind of thing, they have to be able to adjust the way the cameras are. So with the beam splitter, it allows them to get them closer than they would be able to physically because the lenses would be popping into each other. But yeah,
right.
Yeah, the 3D rigs are really complex. It's incredible technology.
And then they had it hooked up to a video village that was completely blacked over and had a giant 50-inch 3D Panasonic television. They had the glasses with so they could watch it in the monitors and stuff.
Yeah.
That shit. I mean, I looked at a tree for like 5 minutes in 3D, like shot natively in 3D.
Uh-huh.
It looked incredible.
It is really cool. And that's actually a technology that's been around since the dawn of photography, that people have been doing 3D. It's something that's really interesting. I'm definitely really enjoying it. I don't think Rooster Teeth will ever get involved with something like that, so, whatever, but it's still
well, I mean,
fun to learn about.
How could you be sure that the person who's viewing it is going to see it in 3D? I mean, yes, YouTube does have 3D mode and all that good stuff, but...
We wouldn't have a need for it, probably, but
right.
It's still fun to learn about. So
Yeah, absolutely so, because you never know where things are going to take you. You never know what experience is going to become relevant in another place. Like you said, you might not be at Rooster Teeth forever. Even if they do pick you back up 10 years down the road, you might get tired of making stuff under someone else's moniker and be like, I'm going to go make my own films now. And that would be a natural progression. You know, no one would be able to begrudge anyone of that.
I think I'd be completely content with being a Rooster Teeth. I've been there.
I know. I'm being hyperbolic to make a point.
But I have been there for about like my 3rd month or something like that. And going in there, I still have this same sense of excitement as my first day. It's such a fun place. So
that's wonderful to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That really is, and I hope that never ever leaves, because everyone who is not you is so jealous of you that we're kind of able to live vicariously through that enjoyment. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I think I've noticed that people are asking me questions about the company and stuff like that, and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. But yeah, it's a fun place, and it's not impossible to get in with them. You just got to do the right things and take the right steps, and
and you got to be cool.
Yeah,
you can't be all fanboy-y.
Yeah, I mean,
if that's a word.
I guess that's kind of true. I had to hide my super fanboy. Like going into it, I knew everybody's names. I knew all the videos that they were in. I knew all the voices that they did and stuff like that. I've been a fan of theirs for so long. So yeah, that was definitely something I had to kind of keep to myself, because it might weird them out a little bit. So.
Well, I mean, you just have to be comfortable, and you just have to be comfortable in yourself, be comfortable around them, be comfortable with what you're doing. I think you're accomplishing that nicely.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. But that's not to say that when you go to an event or something like that, you have to act super suave and super cool. Yeah. Man, go get they're incredible people. You totally need to get their autographs and stuff like that. Like, they deserve all the crazy fandom that they get, because they're just really, really cool people. So.
Mm-hmm. And they're appreciative of it as well. You can see it in their faces that every person who they sign is an actual person to them. And George Takei just came to Dragon's Lair like right after I moved here, and I was gonna go and see it until I figured out that he was charging $50 a person.
That's Rooster Teeth had that last live podcast that we did was free, and we gave out shirts.
Yeah, you did. I've got mine over in my car, and I think it's a Gauntlet shirt, isn't it?
If I can recall, it's a black polo, right?
Yeah. I want to say
it
has
blue. It says GameStop on the side, I think.
Oh, okay, it's GameStop. Okay,
yeah,
I couldn't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, we had a bunch of them, I think, in the office, and I think that somebody was just like, let's give them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do that kind of crap willy nilly. They love, making fans happy.
Of course. Well, as much so as the fans love making them happy with everything they've been shipped. The Tower of Pimps cabinet that was given to them at RTX that ended up being in one of the next videos afterwards. There was an Achievement Hunter logo made out of chainmail.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so much cool stuff. So there's so much love going back and forth. It's just such a love fest. It makes you feel like a big old hippie and you belong in Austin.
Yeah.
So now I think actually we will round out our show. It's been a good 40 minutes here. I've always enjoyed the Inside the Actor Studio method of ending on a questionnaire.
Of course.
And so I, too, have reappropriated the Proust Questionnaire, and my version goes a little something like this. Blaine, what's your favorite word?
I'm going to change it to barbecue. It's a fun word to say, multiple syllables, and it's delicious. Barbecue.
Dig it. What's your least favorite word?
We're going to get graphic. I'm going to say it's cunt, because it's such a harmful word to my ears. It makes me cringe.
I understand completely. What would be your superpower?
That's a tough one. Ability to stop time. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. I'd nap a lot, so I would stop school and just.
It's like that Dexter episode where he invents the helmet that lets 30 seconds equal 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, and then the shower, like the water's coming out slow motion. He's like.
That was one of the great things about shows like that, how they would take the concepts that you would think as a kid are so amazing and show you how reality just destroys your dreams.
That's a good show. Is that on Netflix?
I think it is.
I might watch a couple episodes when I'm done with this.
What would be your super weakness?
Super weakness. The inability to eat like good food. I think that would like suck. Wait, is that like what are we talking about here? Like Kryptonite's Superman's weakness.
Whatever.
All right.
Whatever you consider to be a super weakness.
I'm trying to think. Okay, now I'm just trying to think of like weaknesses that I have myself. Probably like naivete and like the willingness to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think would be my super weakness because I always trust in people. So like I always get shot.
Oh, that's the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
I always get shot in the foot with that most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like super trust is my super weakness.
So maybe your costume just has a blown out foot, just naturally.
Just shoot it.
Yeah. So what hero or heroine do you identify with the most? I'm not going to judge.
If it's DC, it's Batman, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's Marvel, it's obviously Captain America. And the reason I like those two is because they're in universes with like these super powered super beings. And, you know, like they're still peak physical condition for humans, but they're still like regular Joes in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
So I think it's admirable that they can stand toe to toe with those super powered guys.
And even though they have the brawn, they choose to use their brain more often.
Yeah, like
yeah. I can absolutely appreciate that.
Captain America's a super strategist. He's like awesome, and they're both like I think they're both the best hand-to-hand combatants in their respective worlds or universes.
I think you're probably right.
So I think that's cool. That kind of goes back to like training and discipline and all that stuff. They're just really cool guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So what villain then would you identify with?
If we're going DC, oh man, I kind of like Black Mantis or Black Mana, whatever that guy's named. Aquaman's villain. He's always scared the shit out of me. I think he's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know.
I really love this question.
Yeah, this one's kind of you gotta like really dig in there.
That's fine. What sound or noise do you love?
Sound or noise? The beach, the ocean, just water hitting stuff. I think I just...
Are you one of those people that needs the white noise of the ocean hitting?
Yeah, kind of. I remember falling asleep to this application that I bought where it's like, I think it's called Pebble Beach was the noise. It was basically just water rushing onto a Pebble Beach shore. This is a good sound. It's very peaceful.
I could see how that would be very soothing. I understand. I love water running over like a river, or a brook or something like that, running over stones.
Best and stuff, supervillain is actually Emperor Palpatine. So that guy's evil.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you were going to pick that up. I
you were like, what?
It's like, what? I didn't. What sound or noise do you hate?
Smacking. Or people do the sassy where they suck on their teeth.
My roommate Brian had a strawberry cream saver the other day, and he broke it into multiple pieces and like just...
Fuck you, Brian.
All over. Oh, I wanted to strangle him.
I hate Brian, actually.
Oh, I wanted to strangle him. Oh, that and like chewing with your mouth open. Oh, God. Oh.
Damn it, Brian.
Oh, God, get that out of my head. So what turns you on? Either spiritually, creatively, emotionally?
Creatively, it's definitely... like good comedic timing and editing and
Mhm.
stuff like that, I get really excited and almost like borderline shaky when I start thinking of like a really cool concept that I want to immediately put on film and then like edit it and then put it out on a video. Like
I
that's like
know
fun.
exactly what you
If we're
mean.
talking about women and what turns me on there, I think confidence goes a long ways. Not overconfidence. You don't want to be too cocky, but a girl that like just thinks that she's hot stuff.
Knows what she's doing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I could totally see that. Unrelated question. I'm going to break out of my usual format here for a second. Do you usually find that your gut is a pretty good indicator of whether something is going to be good or not?
I definitely think so. There's situations where my gut will be like, be careful of this and stuff like that. And I do tend to trust people a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think I've gotten better at. I'm trying not to be a skeptic when meeting people, but yeah, I think the gut is definitely a good instinct to rely on.
Because like, especially when I'm making a video, if I make something and I watch it back and I'm like, "Ooh, that's kind of good," and like I get goosebumps and stuff, that to me is the best possible sign.
Yeah, that's if you're talking about gut in like an optimistic light. Yeah, anytime you get like a good feeling from something, then you should definitely pursue that. But yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to get your opinion on that. Getting back to the questions, what turns you off then?
Turns me off. Probably like. Okay, so overconfidence and cockiness. That's like really bad.
That's a very fine line for them to walk.
Or any yeah, it is. I have a very high standard when it comes to that kind of stuff. I think also
I understand.
people trying to assume positions of authority, not leadership, authority. There's a difference. If you're trying to be authoritative and bossing people around, you're not I'm not. You have to earn my like trust and stuff like that. So if anybody tries to come trumping and think that they run the place,
I can understand that there's a difference between someone who leads and someone who enforces.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I can absolutely agree with that. So then, what other gift, other than the ones you were obviously born with, would you like to have?
I wish I could cook better. That'd be great. I also wish that I had musical talent. I have a good ear for music, but I can't personally make music that well. So
I've been living by myself so long that if I didn't cook well by now, I'd be dead. Yeah, or just some gaunt. Which, to be fair, I'm not exactly unskinny anyway. So maybe it's not the best side in the world. But I'm also very broke. So food costs money.
Ramen.
What's your favorite curse word?
Shit. Nothing like landing a good. Well, I'm not going to say that. Nothing like landing the word shit in a good opportune moment. Nothing like landing a good shit. No.
You belong on the wire, sir. You belong on the wire. Nothing like landing a good shit. Where would you one day like to live?
Near a large body of water.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be a giant lake, the ocean, or even a very large pool. I like the water. I like swimming. I'm not a strong swimmer. I sink immediately. I don't know if that has to do with bone density or muscle mass, but as soon as I hit the water,
we'll go with muscle mass just for your own ego.
Thanks. But yeah, I'm not a very good swimmer, but I enjoy it. So
yeah. No, I totally hear you on that. And final question here for you: if you had a choice, how long would it take you to respawn after you died?
An hour, because that gives me time to think over my mistakes. And I get to ponder what went wrong, time to analyze what happened, respawn, and then fix it. I think if it's like 15 seconds, like in a video game, you don't have time to ponder and think it over. It's an hour. That'll be enough time to learn a lesson from it.
Fair enough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is officially the end of our show. I want to thank my guest, Blaine, for being here today. Thank you so very much. As he insinuated a couple times, this is the second time we've recorded this thing. Turns out I'm kind of only half as professional as I want to be, but that's a different story for a different time.
It definitely happens.
Thank you so much, Blaine. How can people get in contact with you if they want to?
Twitter, my handle is bgibbles. It's the same on Rooster Teeth. I want more Rooster Teeth friends. I think I have 50 right now, and I want a lot more. So
and it's also B Gibbles on there. Everybody, please go follow him everywhere you can. Go be friends with this guy. You can find the audio version of this show, as well as every other show that I've done, on SoundCloud.com/TimLeftwich. That's brand new. You've been watching this on YouTube.com/TimLeftwich. My name is Tim Leftwich. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and as always, we'll see you next time.